Now we'll move on to the next topic, Juarawee, which is a regional meeting at the ASEAN Summit in Cambodia. It's one of the biggest regional stories here. The ASEAN leaders have begun arriving at the Cambodian capital, Phnom Penh, for the 20th summit in what is seen by observers as an important meeting to take the stock of two key developments. The first is the pace of ASEAN's integration programs and the implementation of the master plan of ASEAN connectivity to ensure the grouping is on target to achieve its 2015 economic community objective. Secondly, is to get an update on developments in member state Myanmar, which has held a series of by-elections and who will assume the ASEAN chair in 2014, just a year before the ASEAN Economic Community Program is realized. ASEAN leaders are expected to encourage Myanmar to continue on its reforms in the run-up to its taking over the ASEAN chair and express their support to Myanmar to make its chairmanship of ASEAN a success. But before the leaders gather their discussions, ASEAN's foreign ministers will hold their coordinating council meeting on Monday, where they will exchange views on regional and international issues, the implementation of the ASEAN Charter. The foreign ministers will also consider the draft ASEAN Leaders' Declaration on Drug-Free ASEAN 2015, as well as Pakistan's request for full dialogue partner status with ASEAN. The ASEAN Summit will be chaired by Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Sen, who will host a dinner for the leaders on Monday night. ASEAN leaders will also meet representatives of the Inter-Parliamentary Assembly, civil society organizations, and youth representatives during the two-day summit on Tuesday and Wednesday. At the close of the summit on Wednesday, the leaders are expected to sign 3 documents. These are the Phnom Penh Declaration on ASEAN, One Community, One Destiny, the Phnom Penh Agenda on ASEAN Community Building, and the ASEAN Leaders' Declaration on Drug-Free ASEAN in 2015.
And on the line with us, our reporter, Juarawee Kittisilpa, live from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Welcome to the program, Juarawee. Hello.
Good evening. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kun Nathakorn and Kun Juarawee.
Hello, Kun Juarawee.
Kun Juarawee, could you please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear us?
Hear you.
All right. Yes.
All right. Yes. Kun Juarawee, could you please give us a summary about the agenda of this time ASEAN Summit in Cambodia that is scheduled to take place tomorrow?
Well, at the 20th ASEAN Summit this year, the two key issues that we should be on alert is the South China Sea dispute, which is the Cambodian Foreign Minister Han Nam-hong is trying to keep it in the regional framework, want to set the political setting that wants to keep the dispute within the region, don't want it to spill over into the international affairs, don't want the third party to come in and intervene. And as the South China Sea dispute, there has been 4 ASEAN nations that have stake claims in it, which includes Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, against the China and Taiwan, as we know it, in the Spratlys. And another important issue is about the nuclear weapon-free zone in ASEAN by 2015, which the leaders are going to be expected to be signing an agreement with the drug-free zone agreement as well. It's sort of like a declaration. And this year they're going to be signing 3 main agreements, which is the Cambodia Declaration, the drug-free zone, as I mentioned, and the nuclear-free zone.
Kun Juarawee, can I ask you a bit about the nuclear weapon-free zone? Does this include nuclear energy, or is it strictly weapon-based?
It didn't state, it didn't go into that deep yet, but what we're hearing now is the nuclear weapon-free zone.
Okay.
In the end, ASEAN wants a commitment that the countries with nuclear weapon would not use or threaten to use nuclear weapons against the ASEAN group. That is the main goal.
I see. So, Kun Juarawee,
yes.
What about the security situation? What about the security monitoring?
I was about to go on that. Well, the security at the venue is pretty tight. It's actually really tight. I must rephrase, as there has been over 5,000 police officers deployed in the capital, including 930 military officers. And they have been stationed along the way from the international airport in Phnom Penh all the way to the ASEAN Summit venue, which is at the Peace Palace. And they're actually at every corner of the alley. And they will be patrolling on foot and motorcycle. The military forces are to be on duty 24 hours. And they are also have been assigned to station along key venues. For example, the large hotels where the leaders will be staying and the summit venue.
Khun Juarawee, do you have any insight on what Thailand prepared to present in this summit?
Thailand has prepared to share information, experiences that it went through with the natural disaster, the negative effects, the impacts, including the smog problem in the northern of Thailand, which has also affected our neighboring border as well, and also about the drug, the battle against narcotics and transnational crime. And they are trying to be the hub because Thailand is actually in the middle of the ASEAN region.
Right.
We can connect people, connect the region together, and it is also trying to be like the spearhead of this method. And also for the ASEAN economic issue, Thailand also wants to encourage all the ASEAN leaders to discuss about this issue as well. How can we improve trade between each other or with the EU now? As we have heard earlier, Dr. Kittisilpa has said that EU is coming back as a recovery, probably a soft recovery. So we might want to discuss how we want to improve trade between ASEAN and the EU, which EU is a crucial trading partner with ASEAN.
Khun Juarawee, have you got any updates on the sideline talks between the leaders?
The leaders, there has no sideline talks so far in the morning. It's just the ASEAN foreign ministers meeting and also talking about the economic issues. But our Prime Minister Yingluck, will be arriving in Cambodia by tonight to join the Leaders Summit tomorrow and on the 3rd of April.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us live from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Bye.
Excuse me?
Hello?
Hello, Khun Juarawee. Thank you for joining us. And good luck for your investigation.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you. Well, that was Khun Juarawee live from Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
Phnom Penh, yes.
Right.
And right now we'll take you to the particulars of the issues debating here in Cambodia right now. The Secretary General of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations said on Sunday that the 10-member group was worried about the consequences of North Korea's pending satellite launch. Surin Pitsuwan said ASEAN foreign ministers would take up the issue on Monday during their main annual meeting. Surin said he thinks that we are all concerned that any instability in the peninsula will lead to further potential for an arms race for nuclearization of the region, which will not be good for the region as a whole. He said, and it will certainly affect trade confidence and investment in the region, including ASEAN. Pyongyang said last month it planned to launch an observation satellite, the Kwangsimong Song 3, borne by the Unha 3 rocket, to mark the centenary of the birth of its founder, Kim Il-sung, on April the 15th. Japan, the United States, and other countries have condemned the planned launch, voicing concerns it could be used to test ballistic missile technology in violation of UN resolutions. Another key discussion point at the ASEAN-EU summit was Sunday's by-elections in Myanmar, which is subject to EU sanctions. EU Trade Commissioner Karel de Gucht said the decision on whether to lift sanctions completely or partially lay with the EU's Foreign Affairs Council, which would meet up again in April to consider the poll. He said provided the elections have a positive outcome in terms of fairness and freedom, there is a good chance substantive measures will be taken. Myanmar democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi won a parliamentary seat in the by-election, though is heading for a clear victory for her National League for Democracy party. Suu Kyi won in 112 out of 129 polling stations in Kwangmu Township, 30 kilometers south of Yangon, according to public vote counts by authorities and reported by NLD at its Yangon headquarters. As ASEAN chair, Cambodia is hosting a series of meetings that are scheduled to conclude on Wednesday.
ASEAN Secretary General said the group remains vulnerable to problems in rich countries and must work with the European Union to bolster their economies. Addressing delegates at the ASEAN-EU Business Summit, Surin Pisawan said global links meant it was difficult to avoid spillover effects from other parts of the world. The EU is ASEAN's biggest trading partner after China and the bloc's most valuable export market. The 27-member EU is also ASEAN's largest source of investment. Surin garnered applause from delegates when comparing the Asian crisis of 1997 with the recent global slump, which has hit a number of European countries hard. He said, in 1997, Europe told us to put our house in order. This time, we appeal to Europe to put your house in order. On Saturday, the EU and Vietnam announced they would start talks on a free trade agreement. EU Trade Commissioner said yesterday that similar negotiations with Singapore were close to conclusion, while those in Malaysia were progressing well. The Commissioner also said that trade and investment were central to the EU's effort to economic recovery. He also said that the EU is committed to increasing its engagement with dynamic Asian emerging markets to boost trade and growth. On Friday, finance ministers announced that a regional emergency fund would double to $240 billion. The purpose of the fund, which was set up by ASEAN, China, Japan, and South Korea, is to provide a short-term liquidity to cash-strapped nations.
Myanmar pro-democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi will become a lawmaker for the first time after a victory in by-elections yesterday that may prompt the United States and the European Union to lift sanction bans. The NLD claims to win at least 44 out of 45 seats, but the official result is expected within a week. Yet, Thein Sein's ruling party and the military will still control more than 80% of parliamentary seats. Hundreds of supporters danced, sang, and cheered outside the National League for Democracy's Yangon headquarters last night as party officials displayed result on an electronic billboard. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton congratulated those who took part in the by-elections while cautioning that reforms could yet unravel. Clinton told reporters in Istanbul yesterday, saying it is still too early to know what recent progress means and whether it'll be sustained. American sanctions ban investment in Myanmar and imports from the country, restrict money transfers, freeze assets, and target jewelry with gemstones originating in the nation. The EU banned weapons sales and mineral exports. The vote may open the door to the end of sanctions from investment in the country of 64 million people bordering China and India. Thein Sein has moved to modernize Myanmar's political and economic system since taking power a year ago, including a managed float of its currency set to take effect yesterday.